Welcome to my blog. I received a lot of messages about the Trish Regan piece on Fox Business News. She had a piece on Venezuela, she shifted over to Denmark, and she more or less claimed that there was similarities between Venezuela and Denmark. Of course, everybody knows that's the polar opposite. Denmark is one of the most sophisticated, highly educated and efficient countries in the world. Venezuela is the direct opposite. So there's a claim that both countries run on socialism, and it is kind of true that socialism is involved in both countries, but that's the only similarities. But let's define that first. Venezuela is a communism state. It's a highly socialistic state where the government controls everything, production, distribution, everything. And that means it's going to break down. We saw that it's impossible to run a system like that. That's been proven now. What's not been proven is the social democracies of Western Europe, where Denmark is probably one of the most extreme of them. And Trish Regan, she's right. The income tax is 56% if you make more than 40 grand a year. She's right that the sales tax is 25%. She's right that cars is taxed more than 100%. And gas is taxed at 100% too. So Denmark is a social welfare state where everybody is taxed to an extreme degree. It is true that you get free education, you get free college, and you get paid around $1,000 when you get to college. So this state, this welfare state, to be able to operate, it needs a tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of money to work. The thing is, and Americans have a difficult part to understand that because it's such a big country here. In Denmark, we are a small country. We had the same country for thousands of years. We are surrounded by water. We all look the same. We talk the same. We have the same names. Everybody knows each other. So it's almost like a village, you know. That means that it's not a hopeless endeavor to pay into the common cause of a welfare state, because people, they believe in it, and there's not much fraud going on. So if you took the system that Denmark is built on and made that system law in America, America would collapse within 6 months. It is literally impossible to impose a system like that in a bigger country. A system like the Danish system can only work in a small, isolated, old country where everybody speaks the same, looks the same, and have the same value set. So that's the reason Denmark works at all. But it's important to underline here that Denmark works. It's one of the most sophisticated countries in the world. It's the most educated labor force in the world. It's one of the most, honesty is on the high. There's corruption. We have basically no corruption in Denmark. It's probably the lowest corruption on the scale in the whole world. So Trish Regan, she's wrong when she compares those things. But what she is right about is that the system that Bernie Sanders and the new left wing of the Democratic Party points at when they point to the Denmark success, and Denmark is a success as a country, but it's because of the ingredient of the country, like I described before. It's not because of the system. Denmark is like a bumblebee. A bumblebee is not supposed to fly. It's too heavy and the wings are too small, but the bumblebee flies anyway. Denmark is the same way. The country of Denmark with the system, it was not supposed to work, because with a tax rate like that, everybody should be sitting on the couch with their hands out and looking for a handout, but they don't. Denmark people, they go to work, they work efficient, and they work hard. That's why it works over there. But don't ever think we can take that system to America, because it's going to collapse. Dan Jørgensen, a politician from Denmark, he put a video up trying to disprove Regan that she was wrong. And he says that the welfare state in Denmark provides opportunity to everybody. You know, that's almost like an oxymoron, because how does it provide opportunity that the government looks over you and takes all your money when you made it? But he have a point, and in his mindset, opportunity means getting a car, getting a house, having decent healthcare, having good schooling, go to work every day until you die. That's Dan's definition of opportunity. That's why he says it. Welfare system creates opportunity. And from his eyes, it's right. It provides opportunity for even the weakest. But an American, They do not define opportunity, getting a car, getting a house, go to work, and then die. Americans, they dream bigger. Americans, they define opportunity like making $5 million or even bigger. So you can get a grandiose house, so you can get multiple cars, and you can relax the rest of your life. So Trish Regan is right when she says there's no opportunity in the way she defines opportunity. But Dan Jørgensen, the politician of the Social Democratic Party in Denmark, he's right too when he says that our system, the welfare system, provides opportunity, because he defines opportunity differently. Dan Jørgensen, he goes on and he compares Denmark to America in so many points, just like the left wing of the Democratic Party does here. Say we have better labor participation rate, we pay better wages, and other scores, they are higher than America. But you know, that's an unfair to compare those two countries. It's almost like comparing, if you said, we're going to compare New York City, the most famous, the most important city in the world the last 100 years, we're going to compare that to a little suburb outside Washington, D.C. with 40,000 people, where everybody makes a fortune, everybody drives Mercedes, BMWs or Bentleys, and then you say, oh, New York City, what a bad place to live. Look at this, we beat you on all counts. That doesn't mean that that small city is better than New York City. It's like comparing a banana to a coconut. So you cannot compare a small, little, isolated country that's on turbo boost, you know, that's highly efficient, and where micromanagement and education is possible. You can do that only in a small country like Denmark. It's impossible to do that in a big country with almost 350 million people from all over the world coming in with different culture, different languages, different morals, different education. So you cannot compare those numbers and then claim Denmark is the winner. It's like comparing an apple to a coconut. You know, there's no resemblance of that. The hill is steep to climb in America. You know, it's very difficult here. It's very difficult in America. People, they think in America it's easy to get rich. No, it's very difficult over here. I always describe it to my friends like, in America, it's like climbing Mount Everest. You know, you can get up high, you can make a lot of money, you can make your dreams come true, but it's difficult to climb up that steep hill. In Denmark, it's different. The hill is not as steep, you know, it's not steep, but it's not as hard to climb it. It's easier to climb, but you can't get up very far, but it's easier. I think that's the conclusion of, you know, the disparity between Trish Regan and Dan Jørgensen. Of course, Dan Jørgensen compares Denmark to America and says we have a better business climate, 15 places above America. And I've been both places. And I don't know what those guys, those journalists who makes those ranks. In Denmark, it's horrible. There's so many authorities and they mean business over there. You have to comply with the rules 100% or they will slap you on your hand and give you a huge fine. They have guys checking on you. That comes from taxes, that comes from labor regulations, it comes from zoning regulations. In Denmark, there's a ton of rules. They are serious and they are hard to comply with. As a young businessman, I ended up spending, I don't know, 30% of my time complying with rules, making stuff for my accountant. In Denmark, it's a tough business to start anything. Here in America, it's a completely different world. It's like black and white. So whatever Dan Jørgensen says and those rankings says, it's plainly false. America have a much, much, much easier business climate. It's without comparison. And I've been both places. Of course, there's another conclusion to this story, and I had to bring it up before I close down. That is, today, everything is about sound bites. Trish Regan, she knows that she's putting 50% on top of the truth about Denmark. But she doesn't care, because the truth, you know, the detailed truth doesn't matter any longer. Everything is about sound bites. It's about getting clicks. It's about getting showings. There's no substance anymore. And if you lie a little bit on TV, it doesn't matter any longer. That's why she did it. And you know what? She won. Because Trish Regan, she's on everybody's lips right now in America and in Denmark. So once again, the short sound bites with full of lies won out. You know, I started this blog to counter that thing. People, they told me, keep your blog short, otherwise people are not gonna see it. You know what? I don't care. What I'm going for is substance. What I'm going for is detail, because that's what we need. We don't need any sound bites full of half lies. Of course, if you like this blog, remember, push the like button, and even better, share it on your page. If you have any question, write it in the comment section or write me personally. I'll be glad to answer it. See you next time.